11 o'clock on the dot. Here we are live at Salt Lake City International Airport. It is Pip saying hi
on another beautiful
sunny Saturday, a little bit lighter day for traffic.
But it is
a good day. Good to see Infidel Firemen in the house.
And
we were just talking about dispatch class. And so if you have any other questions about dispatching, I can give you my Instagram address so people can ask and send me a message privately. Also, I do a lot of my photography on there.
Right now we are
on the east side today, again, South Flow for Salt Lake International Airport.
On a
Saturday, and it's almost t-shirt and shorts weather. It's supposed to be 43 today, which is pretty dang nice.
So it might be
a little gusty and a little bit. They did call forecast-wise for sunny skies, but it'll be a little bit windy, gusts up to 20 knots out of the south for the rest of the day. So that's why they are doing south flow. So the sun, a little bit earlier today. I thought I'd do a little bit earlier. Maybe we can catch the 3:30 Neo this time. Landing there is Delta 622 cross country from JFK on a 737-900. I may have to bring out the mic blocker for the wind. Do a little captain impersonation. Today on your, ladies and gentlemen, it's Delta 622 just landed. Still bad, huh? Dang it. There's some odd feedback. That's not cool. I wonder if do that. Maybe if I move the hotspot a little bit further away from the back to the open days. Any better? And I think I have to turn my mic. All right, tell me if that's any better. I turned off the camera feedback.
Thanks for the
like, by the way.
We're just starting out
our 2-hour broadcast today. Pretty exciting.
And it's kind
of a nice, quiet day at the airport too. It was a little chaotic, of course, with the snowstorm earlier this week.
Thanks for joining
the party. That south wind will hit me right in the face where we're facing.
Usually it's
not this windy in Salt Lake, but with the low pressure system that's been getting all the rain down in Salt Lake City,
it's
kicking up the winds up here in Las Vegas and Phoenix. So
there's a
steel post I'll stand behind. Maybe that'll block it.
everyone.
Hi, everyone. Thanks for tuning in.
Just looking at
the arrival scheme.
Looks like we've got
Alaska 737 900, Alaska 796 inbound for runway 16 left. Jamming out
to some good vibes. So we're on the east side.
Right now, the airport. This will give us better visibility of the arrivals and departures. I'm still not sure. I know I mentioned it. I might be going to Colorado, but still not sure on it. My guess is probably hang around, save a little money. I do want to get more plane spotting in, but got to save money too. So I was just turning on the live stream, and Infidel Fireman, I know what you're talking about. Maybe yeah, that's weird why it's doing that. Don't know. Technology is mean sometimes. So I'll keep my talking to a minimum. But I do have the inbound Alaska right in my view, so we'll focus on that. As it makes it its approach to 16 left. A little shark tail right there. Wonder if it'll turn right in front of us here. Yep. Alaska normally flies out of Salt Lake to Portland, Seattle, and then seasonal destinations. I think San Diego is one of them. Nice. 5x5. That's what I like to hear. So, Infidel Fireman, what's the weather like down in DFW? Is it 80 degrees today? Is it 40 degrees yesterday? What's going on? And thanks, by the way, for everybody tuning in. If you're new to the channel, hello, I'm Pip, and thank you so much for tuning in. Wanted to say thank you, and the best way that you can support the channel is, of course, subscribing, because when you do, you will have first dibs on where we'll be broadcasting from next. So, low coming through right now. All right, 40s, nice and chilly. But yeah, if you subscribe and like, you will be the first to know when we'll be, where and when we'll be broadcasting next. And sometimes we do like to do on remote, on location, as Infidel Firemen and Eskier and RW and Cindy and Gary, they know. So if you look at our live channel, last week we were in Las Vegas and Phoenix, and we may head back. I think we're going to head back there in a couple weeks. So that'll be nice. Saturdays are, if you're new to the aviation scene, tend to be lighter days. Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Saturdays tend to be lighter days. But we still should have some good action today. Let's see. I bet you that Paris got out late. I didn't check it early, but the Neo probably got out late from Paris, and so it'll be delayed. So that mess things up. Now, Paris is about 50 minutes early, so we should catch the A330, hopefully. There's a lot of departures. When I was looking for 11 to 1, there are a lot of departures that we should see in the next hour here on the east side, and then a lot of arrivals during the 12 o'clock hour. So that kind of coalesces with what we're seeing. Got a few delayed flights. So we'll keep an eye on things, but pretty quiet. We'll keep an eye out for general aviation traffic, because people are still going in and out as far as skiing goes. In fact, I see a GA over there. So we'll zoom in on that. Remember, if you're new to the channel, Salt Lake City International Airport is about 25, 30 minutes from Park City. So you'll get a lot of, in addition to the corporate traffic for Salt Lake, you get a lot of Park City traffic as well for people that are going skiing, since it's so close to the slopes. This is the first time, by the way, this is the first time since Las Vegas that I haven't worn gloves when plane spotting. This is a first. So it's a nice day in Salt Lake City. Wonder if Dalton will be able to tune in and testify of that. And for the first time in 4 days, I didn't get my truck stuck. So win-win. Wheels Up, of course, one of the competitors to NetJets, the fractional ownership group, 135 carrier. Have they talked about that in class yet, Infidel? The different categories of flight numbers? Because the FARs, the FARs are full of regulations and numbers and things like that. Still got some good snow coverage. It's supposed to rain and snow tomorrow, so that might get interesting. I think it'll be warm enough that it'll be mostly rain here in the valley. Kind of wondering what this Alaska that just landed from Seattle is waiting on. I know there was a cancellation, so maybe this was a ferry, but we'll see. Boise's close enough that we'll probably make a trip up there to do plane spotting. The catch is it has to be right visibility because they're building a new parking garage at Boise Airport, and so if depending on where the winds and where they have the arrivals on, that could block the view. So it has to be the right winds. So we'll keep an eye on that. Now, okay, so yeah, they've been talking about the regulations and everything, and it was all kind of like all that information. Infidel was just kind of like you put it all into a giant leaf blower, and it just comes out in your face. Have you got a better understanding, better feel of METARs? Hi everyone for tuning in. Thanks for the likes. We sure would appreciate like if you enjoying the coverage, and subscribe so that you know where we'll be broadcasting next. Because we'll be very active. I'll be very active. And when I say we, I hope my buddy down in Las Vegas will join me. Looks like we get a Beach 99, the old Alpine Air Express cargo coming inbound. That's a unique airplane. Don't see those too often. Just like the shorts. Like in Milwaukee, a lot of the old shorts are still if you don't know what a short is, you have to Google it. It was very popular, I think, in the 70s and 80s for smaller markets for air travel, but it's a heck of an airplane. Still figuring out the remarks and weather symbols. Ah, the FU. Yeah, the FU for smoke. I always just thought of it when the old FU. It's how do I say it? I can't even remember. I don't know. Just FU like smoke or the BR. BR is the French word for brume, or it's an obscuration, and so that's one that comes often. The weirdest, I'm trying to think the weirdest Well, mostly the most interesting METARs I've ever had are usually when hurricanes have rolled through. So, like a couple years ago, I think it was Hurricane Michael in Lake Charles, where we flew on Envoy. I printed that one out. It was sustained winds at 80 knots, gust of 113. And then I think the hour after that, it broke. The winds were so high that the ASOS, the machine broke. So you'll get some interesting ones. But for those who are just tuning in, METAR is a meteorological observation that dispatchers and pilots look at to give you current conditions. Like when they say, currently at Salt Lake City, we've got cloudy skies temperature of 17 degrees, and dew point of 15 degrees Celsius or 45. So that METAR is kind of that METAR is kind of that's what pilots and dispatchers they'll look at. So when they're giving you like when they're in the cockpit or in the flight deck, that's what they give the passengers for current conditions. They'll pull up the latest METAR because there are also legal ramifications for having and not having a METAR. So in order to take off, you need a current METAR. So I won't get too deep into that. And maybe that'll be for another video, but that's basically what METAR is. So it's pretty cool. And it's just touching the surface of weather when it comes to aviation. And I'm sure Infidel Fireman, who's in the dispatch class, is probably learning that. That's just kind of the tip of the iceberg when it comes to aviation. So, a little fun fact for you. Again, love talking about it. So, if you have a question about aviation or dispatching or anything like that, you can shoot it up on the chat. Yeah, Sean, we do. We do talk we talk in our fuss like this. Also, the pilots do like this. So, yeah, sorry about that. Just having a little fun. I've never had a captain like, in my experience, be super thrilled, like really excited. He's just so mellow when he's on the loudspeaker. So, anyways, but Sean, hope you're having a good morning. But yeah, the dispatchers not so much. They hang out in the IOCC or the Network Operations Center, and the pilots they get to be the pretty face of the airplane. Catch the CRJ taking off. Nice wind starting to pick up, so shouldn't be super long takeoff rolls today. Just peek out behind the building there, and that is the CRJ 900. It's not an aircraft we see super often in Salt Lake, especially with Delta. We usually see the 175s from SkyWest, typically. And that Alaska guy is still out there. Must be waiting for a gate or further instructions. Maybe a rescue, like I said. Hey, everybody, for tuning in. Cash told us not to apologize. Only pilots make mistakes. That's right. That's right. And you know why that's true? Because Infidel, you will never, ever, 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 ever have a pilot say it's their fault. Ever. One time. And it was a good captain I had a good working relationship with, and we had agreed upon something where it was, if I'm right, he would type via ACARS, "You're right, I'm wrong," but that's the only time. So, yeah, get used to that. get used to that. And I give my good buddy Mark, who was in the last dispatcher, the first officer, I give him a hard time about that because it's very true. Very true. But thanks for everybody for tuning in. If you are a pilot, I still love you. And I'm just joking because pilots are the best, and you can't have a good working relationship without great pilots. So, I mean, after all, you guys fly the plane, so but we can still have a little fun. So thanks for tuning in. This is Pip broadcasting live from Salt Lake City International Airport. We'll be here until 1 p.m. or 20 Zulu, until 20 Zulu for those who are learning the UTC lingo. See, that's another good question, Infidel. You comfortable with the UTC? Because that's all you're going to do from now on. When you're working as a dispatcher or pilot, you work in UTC time, period. Make sure you like and subscribe. Say hey. We love having new people on the chat, and we'll continue to broadcast from Salt Lake City, and we'll get out and on location as well. This will be our 11th broadcast, my 11th broadcast, and I'm thrilled to be with each of you. And thank you very much. Awesome, dude. Glad to hear you're getting a hang of UTC time. I just wish. So I have a Apple Watch, and I've been trying to find a good app that will allow me to switch to UTC time permanently. And I have not found one yet. So if anybody does for my Apple Watch, I would love it because I just want it to tell UTC time, and that's it. Because it's constant, doesn't change. None of this daylight savings time or whatnot. So if anybody knows of a good app or something for your iWatch that tells UTC, let me know. E175, Embraer E175 taking off. And if you're just tuning in, where are we? We are high above Salt Lake City International Airport, facing east now towards the north as I turn the camera and pan back. Getting some departures in here. And Salt Lake City, Utah in the United States is where we're at if you're across the pond. Thanks for joining in. We get new people every day, so I thought it would be nice if I gave kind of a rundown real quick of airlines that come through Salt Lake City so people get an understanding. Delta is a hub, and you can see that hangar. Of course, this is Delta's, one of their West Coast bases and hubs other than Seattle and Los Angeles. And they basically run this airport. So I'm all for competitors because the fares here are higher than what you would see maybe in DFW or Chicago or something like that. Delta runs the show here. Thanks for the like, by the way. Yeah, but I wanted to give you a rundown of all the airlines that do fly into Salt Lake City International Airport. So if you do like skiing and you do like culture, most people don't realize there's a lot of refugees who've moved in over the years. And so you've got a lot of great restaurants, great culture. So I was really impressed with what is it? It's ramen place, Japanese place. It was awesome. But yes, so the airlines include Aero Mexico Connect, Air Canada, Alaska, American Airlines, American Eagle, of course, Delta Connection, Eurowings Discover, I think, is going to come back for another year. I was looking for a schedule last night and I fell asleep, but I'm going to look for that. JetBlue, Frontier, KLM, they do their Dreamliner service here in the summertime. And Southwest, Spirit started flying here last year. Spirit Airlines, they fly to Las Vegas, Los Angeles, and Orlando, then United Airlines and United Express. So those are the current airlines that fly into Salt Lake City. I'm hoping with the construction of, so the additions of the second part of Concourse A, which you can see right in the foreground, that brownish building, that's new. And then the construction of also Concourse B in 2025, that will probably add a few more airlines. Back in the day, in the early 2000s, Salt Lake had a nonstop to Tokyo through Delta, but they got rid of it. And I'm really hopeful they bring it back. So right now, the international flights that fly to Salt Lake City. So you've got your 3 European standbys, not standbys, your regulars, which are London, Amsterdam, and Paris. And those all fly right now on the A330. Hope they'll switch to the 350, give a little variety. But those are the European nonstops, other than KLM and Eurowings Discover. But those are through Delta. And then Delta flies a lot of Mexico, so Mexico City, Cabo San Lucas. Let's see, also Monterrey. I think there's one more, Guadalajara. I think they fly to seasonally. So it's a big domestic hub for Delta, and they do also fly to Honolulu and Kauai in Hawaii. And then Alaska started doing Anchorage service in the summertime along with Delta last year. So hope that gives you a little better background of Salt Lake. We're looking northbound, seeing the Delta hangar there, and got a departure getting ready to run up on the runway there. Looks like it is Delta 1948. Hey, speaking of Mexico, it's heading to Puerto Vallarta on an A320. Bet you the temperature's almost double there. Or Cancun. They also fly to Cancun. Yes, I forgot about that. Off to Mexico, south of the border. There she goes. Man, I miss my flight benefits. The world is your oyster when you work for an airline. It really is. So I kind of miss that, but I'll get back there. Right now, I'm preparing to go to MBA school and working on a couple different things, stepping away from dispatching a little bit. But I'm here now, so it kind of works out well for us that I'm here and answering questions. I like doing it, and I've always wanted to be a educator or flight ground instructor. So I've applied for that a couple times. But anyways, if you're just tuning in, appreciate the likes. Thank you so much. And for tuning in, we're trying to grow the channel each and every day, in a new way. And if you'd like to know where we're going to be next and when, I encourage you to subscribe to the channel, Pip Hastings, because that way I typically will do a video the night before or the morning of, letting you know where we're going to be and when. So I encourage you to subscribe to the channel if you like good plane spotting and aviation coverage. And thanks so much for tuning in. I don't know if anybody saw, but I thought I'd mention this because it's a good piece of news and I liked it. That low-cost carrier Zip Air out of Japan is doing nonstop service to San Francisco beginning in June of this year. So if you go to zipair.com, it'll give you a rundown. But they fly the Dreamliner, and they started flying to Los Angeles and Honolulu first. And so now they're going to be San Francisco, which makes a lot of sense, going over to Japan. So now there'll be 3 Japanese carriers in San Francisco: Japan Airlines, and ANA, and now Zip Air in June. So that's kind of interesting. All right, we've got inbounds. Inbound private jet, Learjet 45. Don't see those too often. Also, a Cessna Citation 525. And we'll keep an eye on those. If you like listening to ATC chatter, I'd encourage you to download liveatc.net. It's a free app, and it gives you airports all over the world, country. But funny enough, one of the airports, it's run basically by the subscribers themselves. So there's a lot of um, own work that's done there. But surprisingly, the airport that isn't there is Salt Lake, which is kind of frustrating. So I may have to work on that. I was trying to see the Learjet. It's in white. That's why I can't see it against the snow background. Not fair. There it is. Fighter jet engines and performance. We are looking north, so that means the runways that and the airplanes coming towards us are landing to the south. So that is where I have the camera pointed, runway 16 right. It's a beautiful day here in the Wasatch Front in the mountains. You can see the snow. Checking out the TAF here for tomorrow in Salt Lake City. See what the winds are going to be like, if they're going to still be the south. Looks like early on they will. Then the weather forecast here too, because south is okay, but I actually like northbound arrivals because the viz is much better, and I can see across the canyon and give me more variety of arrivals. But nonetheless, thank you for tuning in. If you're new to the channel, say hello. Love talking aviation, sharing aviation knowledge with you. Thanks for the like. Appreciate it. All right, getting ready to depart. We've got Delta 2657 headed to Los Angeles, and behind them 2468, Delta 2468 headed to Phoenix. Takeoff roll has begun. Roll back around towards the beginning of runway 16 left. See if that Phoenix departure is headed out. Oh, look at that. We got the little old CRJ 200, my favorite, worst favorite plane ever. Ugh. Worst jump seat ever, also. I personally have not sat on one, but I would not. I've had several dispatchers say it's quite awful. Just a fun fact on Infidel, that's something to look forward to. Z fares, I believe they do. That's a good question. So they have reciprocating agreements as far as jump seating with a lot of the airlines. So when I was working, I had jump seat agreements with Atlas and FedEx, and now it's dependent on the airline, but each airline I worked on was FedEx, UPS, and Atlas. We were all jump seat approved, so we could just jump seat. So there's not necessarily Z fares for the cargo carriers. You have to have one of those agreements for jump seating. But if you do and the captain's cool with it, then you can jump on board, and most of them are super cool with it and fly. So yeah, that's a good question. But for the most part, it's just jump seat because they don't have Z fares. And if uh, those who are tuning in, Z fares for people who aren't in the airline industry or are not aware, a Z fare is a zonal employee discount, is what it stands for. And a bunch of airlines have this program that allows employees after a certain period of time, I think it's 6 months for most airlines, where you can fly for a discount. So that's one of the perks, one of the many perks of working for an airline, is that you can try different airlines and for fairly low cost. Like, for example, I think my friend went to Thailand and paid, I don't know, other than the fare was like $200 and then taxes were another 150 bucks. So yeah, just one of the many benefits about working in the airline industry. If you're lucky enough to get in, there are definitely downsides, like when weather blows up in your face and you have angry guests and passengers, rightly so, or frustrated. So it's kind of like a pro and con thing. So, but yeah, the zonal employee discount is a unique benefit that the airlines, they just join this like fraternity or I don't know, family. So they'll say, okay, you can fly this. It's a set rate too. You can fly this rate or this flight for this much, and it's based on miles, the mileage of the flight and such. So you're flying standby. So it's not a guaranteed seat. You're flying standby, but if you get on, then you get charged, and then it's like I said, like $200 or something to go to Thailand. And then each airline, if you work for them, has their own programs. Now that stuff you won't get in any other live stream. That's good knowledge right there, folks. It's 737 headed down to Phoenix. Also, those who are new to the channel, Salt Lake is my home base, so we do a lot of plane spotting from here. But like I said earlier, we do go on location once in a while. Last week or the week before, Las Vegas and Phoenix. So pretty cool. Yeah, exactly. $85, Chicago to Berlin. That is totally true. And it's just a flat rate depending on the mileage and what the airline sets. So there are definitely some sweet perks for sure. Everybody for tuning in. If you're new to the channel, would love to have you subscribe and like if you're enjoying the coverage. But we are here at Salt Lake International Airport. And Salt Lake, the runways are in a north to south configuration. So closest to the mountains is runway 1735. And then you have one runway closest to me, which is 16 left, 34 right. And also on the other side, which we'll get to in a couple days, 16 right, 34 left. You know, it's funny, Infidel, I never used Z once because I always had a jump seat agreement with the airline. So I was very fortunate. Never used Z once, but I never got to travel internationally. Didn't get that chance. I think I wanted to get to all 50 states before I traveled internationally, and honestly, I kind of wanted a girlfriend too. So to show off to her, you know, like impress the significant other. But yeah, I never once. No, that's not true. Once. Okay, so once I flew United Z. That was like $50. So, but other than that, I was very fortunate. So that is another perk of the dispatcher kind of pilot, crew member, flight attendant two thing. So flight attendants can do jump seat two. Theirs is just like the flight attendant jump seat as opposed to the cabin. Inbound. Looks like from the distance, I didn't look at flight radar. At a A220 is my initial guess. See how wrong, how off I am. But it's like Jackson Hole on a 319, but we'll see. Which is, I'd like to see the 220 do the Jackson Hole flight. Now it's 737-800 from American. Coming in from Chicago, my home. I grew up in Chicago. Spent the first 23 years of my life there. Yep, there's the old red, white, and blue of American. And again, back to the north, and we've got a departure. And there's an A220. That one appears headed to San Jose. And I'm just taking a guess, but that typically runs it. Or they run the Salt Lake to DFW often on the 220 for Delta. Thanks for everybody tuning in and the likes. My name's Pip. If you're new to the channel, I'm thrilled to be bringing you good weather today and plane spotting on a Saturday. If you're relaxed, if you're at work, if you're doing some work at home or on the job, thanks for tuning in. Appreciate it. Thanks for the like. And thanks for the like again. And again, love it. I'm trying to think of a good story to tell you about dispatching to Infidel. Other than that hurricane and the METARs that come out, those are that's yeah, those are definitely unique. And there's it's amazing what Mother Nature does because obviously we don't like see any of our stations get hit, but it's just unreal. Never had a tornado METAR, but pretty much everything else I've had. When looking at stations where I've seen but I've never seen a tornado METAR. That that when that happens, you're like, uh-oh. Like I hope we diverted. Say 22300 variant. We'll head back here. Looks like we've got a southwest departure, 737 shortly. Headed off on 16 left. I believe it'll make its way into our view shortly. There is our little old CRJ 200. Now that the Dash 8s are retired from Alaska, or even the Dash 3s from Piedmont, this is currently tied for the smallest aircraft that U.S. commercial aviation flies as far as major jet carriers. I know we still have Cape Air. They run the Cessna 402s and other things, but if I remember correctly, Alaska was the last one to run the Dash 8s. So these jets, between this and the Embraer 135, 140, and 145, are the smallest jets that are currently commercial jets that are in service right now for U.S. commercial airlines. Everything else is propeller or turboprop based. And if I'm wrong, feel free to correct me. But the CRJ 200 is it's a tiny airplane. I like the Embraers much better, mostly because for American and United, it's a 1-2 cabin configuration as opposed to a 2-2 tiny seats. But my personal opinion. If anybody has thoughts on the Embraer versus the CRJ 200. Of course, Bombardier used to produce the CRJ 200, while Embraer, the Brazilian jet manufacturer, produced the 135, 145, 45. The differentiation between the numbers really is just the size of the airplanes, how many passengers it's hold. So, fun little fact for you. That it's going to Elko as it begins its takeoff roll. Should probably look at that. But I'm just like you. I'm just distracted by jets. Man, that's me, man. I was a kid, growing up in Chicago. Used to just watch the jets descend on arrival. Every time one flew by, I just immediately looked my head up, and they'd fly right over me.
Oh, look at the airplane.
Sorry to make the baby voice, but just so small.
This guy Wes has been doing a good job keeping them around.
That near Wisconsin. Flying the CRJ 200s, and I think that's it. Another carrier. It's kind of unique. Oh no! Back to being choppy. Dang it! I was doing for so long. Oh, nice, Sean. That's awesome. You know, I have some friends who live next to Hill Air Force Base. Holy cow! The F-35 is stationed at Hill. Holy cow! That is one loud airplane. The bolts. Is that the A-10 you're talking about, Sean? The Warthog. Not as well known. My military aviation background is kind of suspect. Don't know. But I am learning a little bit by bit. Everybody for tuning in. Hi. It's Pip. Thanks so much for tuning in. Now, Infidel, I will say one thing that's been good so far. You know, it hasn't cut. The video hasn't cut out, and I have a secure password so people can't steal my internet. So that's been working out really well so far. Because that's my first day today. Signed in with the secure password. That seems to be working well. Looking at an E175 headed north, I believe going to Kalispell. That's in Montana, right near Canada. Okay. Probably some of the most beautiful country you've seen is Kalispell and Glacier National Park in the summertime. There's our southwest departure. Just waiting for the go-ahead to take off. There she goes. It's like a 737-700. No. Correction, 737-800. My eyes and my depth perception fooled me. Take off kind of like a fighter jet there, kind of low, slow climb. Very nice. Bit broadcasting live from Salt Lake City International Airport. Thanks for tuning in and being part of the broadcast. If you like the coverage and what we're doing, I would love a like and subscribe to the channel so you know where we'll be broadcasting next and when. No delay for 2916, 737 900 headed to Ontario, California. They got clearance and said, see ya. It's like an A321. When I first saw A321s in the sky, I thought they were like a new wide body, but they're a single aisle wide body impersonator. And that's why they got on my nerves at first. But now I really like them. And I like flying them. Ah, Nuremberg. Willkommen. That's all I know in German. But thank you so much for saying hi. Okay, so now it's getting a little bit chilly. Put on my gloves. It's just me, Pip. Sure would appreciate a like. And if you're interested in our channel and learning more, where we'll be broadcasting from next, make sure you subscribe. I will typically do a video either the night before or the morning of that lets you know where we're broadcasting from. So thank you for that like. And welcome in. Nice, Julian. Awesome, man. That's great. So you're a private pilot's license, but considering flight dispatcher as a career. And you're right, it isn't, the info is not easy to come by. So that's actually one of the reasons I wanted to make the videos, because my background was in journalism. And so I was used to reporting and talking and everything. And I remember when my friend suggested that I should get into aviation, he first said, you should do flight dispatch. And I'm like, what? And it was so hard to find anything. So yeah, whatever I can do to help answer any questions. In fact, Julian, if you have any questions, shoot me a message. And you're welcome to answer the questions here. But as Infidel Fireman knows, sometimes my audio can go in and out. My bad. So, and if anybody else wants to message me about aviation or anything else, please feel free to go ahead and message me or ask a question. I'll do my best to answer it and type out the answer too. Inbound United, I think. I think I can see the livery tail on the back. Yep, it's Airbus. And I'll be the first to admit, we're not the sexiest plane spotting channel. Salt Lake is pretty much dominated by Delta. However, I do feel like I give you the most knowledge and information. So we got that going for us. And I hope I can continue to do that. And then we'll be going on remote as well. So yeah, and good old A319, looking at the charts, inbound from Houston Intercontinental, IAH. Oh, speaking of dispatching, Infidel Firemen, have they tested you on codes yet? I don't know if they did that. If they did that in my training for Envoy, or if they did, I can't remember. It's been so long ago. But yeah, you definitely want to know your airport codes. And they will test you on that. When I was hired, and I went through initial training, they did test us, and you had to get 80% on your airport codes in order to pass. And I remember thinking it was so bizarre that I had to take a test and pass it in order to do a job. I was like, that's ridiculous. I already went to school, but they would not let me comp out or go to OJT unless I got 80% on all my tests when I was at Envoy, which in retrospect was good because I needed that knowledge and I needed to know it. So that's just a little information. But a lot, when you start, you do, when you do your dispatch license, it's basically a license to learn. So you have to have it in order to be a dispatcher. But then when you get hired by an airline, it's a whole nother bunch of training that goes with it. Yeah, absolutely. Thanks, Julian. .41 degrees is where we're at in Salt Lake City International Airport at the base of the Wasatch Mountains. Sometimes when I look out, and Eva said hello from Germany, it makes me think of Austria and Salzburg, and also Salzburg and Vienna. What's the other? Oh, and Innsbruck. Innsbruck is the other airport that I think about when I look at the mountains. Just beautiful scenery. So we are very fortunate to have some beautiful scenery. And when there's no inversion or pollution, things are great here. Things are great here in Salt Lake. So it's a nice day out today. And I knew with the weather, I was like, I got to get plane spotting and get out there. We'll be on the air for about another 50 minutes or so till just after 1 o'clock, right around 1 o'clock, Mountain Standard Time, or uh, 20 Zulu. Yeah, sorry about that. I had to do brain fart. We are expecting. I'm expecting that the A330-900 will be inbound to runway 16 left. So that should be in the next 20 minutes. It's on descent, just crossing the border from Idaho into Utah, which is about 130 miles away. So hopefully they'll vector them to our runway on the arrival path. In the meantime, on the west side of the airport, looks like they're going to route Southwest 2176, so 737-800 from Phoenix, a Delta 2007, an A22300 from New Orleans, and 1570, Delta 1570, 737-800 from Phoenix. If you're new to the channel, welcome aboard. Remember to subscribe because that way you will know where we are broadcasting next. And if you like what you see and the information I give, I would love a like and your friendship. It's a win-win. So appreciate it. Thanks, John. Thanks for the report from Pittsburgh. Appreciate it. Thank you so much. Pittsburgh is a place I want to get to, John. Let's see. James is out there too. But Pittsburgh is a place I want to get out because they've got a good variety of aircraft and British Airways. They fly the Dreamliner there to Pittsburgh, and I always enjoy when international flights come in to airport destinations, U.S. airport destinations. Oh, and also, uh, you guys in Pittsburgh are constructing a new terminal, so that's pretty cool too. Another good reason to head out to Pittsburgh. We're in Salt Lake City, Utah, home of the Utah Jazz. If you're an NBA fan, in fact, let me scroll the camera here. While we have a second, I don't see any arrivals on the horizon just yet, but I'm going to turn the camera slowly to the right and give you a firsthand view of the Wasatch Mountains and also downtown Salt Lake City. Zoom in a little bit. And there you go. If you're new to the channel, that is the backdrop. Pretty nice backdrop. That is downtown Salt Lake City. Go a little bit to the left and then the corner. Up on the hill, that's the University of Utah. And then a little bit to the left, if you can see. Right. I'm placing the camera in the right area. There is the U.S. Capitol or not the U.S. Capitol. I said that yesterday too. The Utah State Capitol Dead Center right there. So that is downtown Salt Lake. And you can see how the general aviation traffic. Salt Lake is a great landing point for skiers who want to go Park City and celebrities because it's 30 minutes to Park City. So there's always a lot of traffic, inbound general aviation traffic to Salt Lake City. In case people didn't know. An Cessna Citation there. Excel, I think. We're getting ready to take off on runway 17. This building we're looking at right here still looks under construction. This is the second half of Concourse A of the new Salt Lake City International Airport. So as you can see, zooming in, we talked about this yesterday. The gates start out all the way on the other end of the airport, gates 1, and then so you see how they come the other end. So you're gate 40, 38, 40. And if you've never been to Salt Lake, I keep saying it every broadcast, and it's worth reminding everyone, if you do not fly Delta into Salt Lake City, you will be walking a very, very long way. Once you get off the plane, it's about a mile walk to the baggage claim. That is 100% truth. Takes about 20 minutes. Oh, nice. Well, John, thank you for reporting that. That is good to know. I do not like that. KAGC. I will check that out too. Yeah, so the Airport Watch program in Chicago is a nice program. And you do a background check and you get a badge. And I have to renew mine, but they'll run special days at O'Hare where the airport watch people can get beyond the fence and do photography, and they can do classes. And I know they went to Rockford, which is becoming a huge cargo airport in the Chicago area. It's about 90 minutes away, but it's a huge cargo airport and they got special access in Rockford. So, highly recommend the ORD Airport Watch program. Just Google it. They do have a website, and I need to re up my membership. So, thanks for the reminder on that, too. Inbound to us, Delta 859, the A321 Neo is headed our way. And it appears that the A330 Neo is as well. Good. I am glad to hear the new pit will be bringing back the public observation decks. That's great to hear. It's a great thing to have. So thank you for that, John. I'm glad to hear that. Um, so one of these days, soon, when I get some additional equipment, I'm going to run down a list of my top 10 favorite spotting airports. So Salt Lake's definitely one. LA, of course. What's another good one that I always had good success with? Omaha's pretty chill. Portland, that's it. Portland's a great one too. Highly recommend Portland. Portland, Oregon. Great visibility and the parking garage. Like I am here. And the runways are parallel on both sides of the parking garage, so you can get action from both sides. So that's really cool. Shark Tail, Delta 859, arriving cross country from Boston. Oops. So when we say NEO, we're talking for somebody new in aviation. NEO stands for new engine option, which this plane has. So if you look at the engines, they're larger in diameter and circumference, and that enables better performance, efficiency, and then you can also see kind of the raccoon mask on the skin of the windows there of the flight deck where the pilots are. It's a sharp touch as well for Airbus. And you'll see it on the Neo as well. If they get routed this way, they're at looks like 7,000 feet. So we'll keep our eyes to the sky on this side here. Runway 16 left is where we're pointing towards. So they're arriving from the north, landing to the south, which means that's runway 16 left. About a half hour left in the broadcast. Pip with you. Oh, that's an interesting one. The Cirrus S50 Vision. Let's see if we can catch this one before the A330 Neo. Single seat jet from Cirrus. So tiny. I'm trying to see if I can see it on the horizon. the horizon. My eyes are pretty good, but with the color of that jet, it blends in really well. And it's also arriving on the furthest most runway. So I'll say it at once. Sorry, I'm getting really quiet now. It's just a nice day, and I'm just glad to be with you guys and bring you plane spotting action. Just me, myself, and I, but I love doing this and educating. So it could not be happier. Few things would make me happier right now. So happy to do it. Still can't find that jet. But I do see the 330 Neo is headed to us. I can see it on the horizon on final. So we'll get ready for that. In fact, I think if you look closely, where is it? Oh, you can see it right there in the distance. If you look in really closely, I know I'm only at 720p as far as streaming, but hopefully we can see that all right. And then it'll scoot off the taxiway right in front of us. So that'll be fun. Now there's this Cirrus Vision. Looks like a speck of dust. It's so small and tiny. You really have to be right up in it fast. Well, ATC gods have blessed us again, so glad we could catch this one and on this runway. So hashtag blessed. It glides so well when landing. Full load today. Taking the high-speed taxi off runway 16 left and right into your living room, folks. Or bedroom or family room, whatever you enjoy when you're watching plane spotting or on your cell phone. Technology is beautiful. So just like the Neo, the 900 series has the new engine option and the larger diameter and circumference on the engines, plus the raccoon mask there. But really sharp airplane. Very simple delivery or livery by Delta, but very sharp. Nine times out of 10, this one from Paris arrives early. So that's why I wanted to try 11 to 1 to catch it because it's scheduled for 125, but 9 times out of 10 it arrives early, and I'm glad we did the earlier broadcast so we got to catch this one. Because we don't get a ton of wide bodies here at Salt Lake. And earlier in the broadcast, we mentioned that Delta has daily to Amsterdam, London, and Paris. But other than that, not a whole lot of wide bodies. Not till the summertime when some of the seasonal routes will kick off. Eurowings is supposed to, I think, come back for another year from Frankfurt. Then also KLM will come back with their seasonal to Amsterdam on the Dreamliner. So that's pretty cool too. Thanks for everybody tuning in. Looks like that A321 from American headed to Dallas. Ready to roll. Just shoots out of a cannon right behind the end of Concourse A. If you're new to the channel and can hear me okay and just tuning in, say hi, of course, because we love meeting new people. I especially do. But also subscribe so you can know where we'll be broadcasting and when we'll be broadcasting next. Inbound 175. Looks like from Eugene, Oregon. I'm Ron Burgundy. Thanks for the like, too. It's just me running the Good Ship Lollipop here today. I am Pip. And I am here for you. A lot of good action today. The numbered days of the CRJ Mesa 900. Mesa's contract with American ends in April, so it's not too much longer that we'll see this plane, this Mesa plane. I think it switches to SkyWest or Envoy for the Phoenix flights. Put up a question there. What is your favorite airplane to fly or watch? My two personal favorites are the A220 and the Dreamliner 787. Southwest next in line. It is Pip. We'll be here for about 20, 25 minutes more. Waiting for that Southwest departure. Hope you can hear me okay. Audio's been in and out, so we're doing our best. I'm doing my best to make sure it sounds as best as possible, but technology and live streaming can be spotty sometimes. So, in the meantime, you see Southwest, and then behind them, Alaska 3362 headed to San Diego, and Delta 424 and an A319 behind them. Should depart shortly. Thanks for the like and the subscribe. Appreciate it. And in our live section, if you like to see other airports, we were in Phoenix and Las Vegas last week. So if you want to check out that broadcast, we had some fun there. Also lining up for runway 16 left will be Southwest 1714, 737 700 headed to Austin. I do have a plane spotting goal to get to all major airports, top 100 airports in the U.S., and then travel around the country. So I've been to close to 50, and I actually have plane spotting videos of those close to 50 on my channel too. So everything from LA to Seattle to Portland to Chicago O'Hare, and then in the South, Dallas, Orlando, a little bit of variety, East Coast JFK, Providence, Boston. So yeah, I'm trying to get to them all. So 737 arrival on Delta. Runway 16 left. Alaska on a 175, Alaska Airlines, headed to San Diego. It's a good day here in Salt Lake. Temperature about 41 degrees, light winds, thankfully. Quickly approaching 20 Zulu for UTC time. Or 1 o'clock here locally. Nothing like a low flying bullet. A3, Delta A319. Next up to depart. Next up, 737, headed to Austin, Southwest Airlines. Thanks for the likes and the subscribe. Wrapping up coverage here in the next 10-15 minutes, but thanks for everybody for tuning in. I want to check see if London is early too, or Amsterdam. But 2583 is what we're looking at right now, getting ready to take off to Los Angeles on Southwest Airlines. It is Pip broadcasting live from Salt Lake City International Airport. Thanks for everybody for saying hi. It's a great broadcast today. I hope you enjoyed it like I did. It's been a lot of fun today. A lot of fun. Met some new people, which is always good. And if you want to subscribe, that's the best way to find out where we're going to be at and when, because I'll put out a video typically the night before we do the broadcast. We're almost at 20 likes. That would be awesome. So if somebody wants to give me the old thumbs up, hit the 20. I sure would appreciate it. Thanks for everybody for tuning in and being a part of the broadcast. So close. Ooh. Looks like Delta 57 from Amsterdam is on the way. Hopefully, 20, we did it. Thank you so much. Made my day. And I think we can hang out for just a little bit longer. The battery's getting pretty low on the old computer, but we may have just enough energy to catch the A330 inbound on Delta 57 from Amsterdam. So we'll cross our fingers that we can make it happen for you. It's about 13 minutes away. Other than that, things calming down a little bit as far as the departures. So let's cross our fingers, see if we can hold out. We'll be on the air for a little bit longer. We're going to try and catch this A330 from Amsterdam. But I'll pan to the right here and show you a view of downtown Salt Lake. In case you're wondering too, I am using the Canon R7 with a 100-400 lens because I want to zoom in sometimes as much as possible. However, the flip side of it is the 100-400 is extremely heavy, and you need a heavy duty tripod, and this tripod is a little heavy. So just that is why sometimes you'll see the camera tilt up and then slide down. But that is downtown Salt Lake, right at the base of the mountains. You could, I guess, theoretically ski from the top of the mountains into downtown Salt Lake. That'd be kind of interesting. As we look to the south here, you can see along that group of mountains, I believe that last one is Mount Olympus, the tall one. They're all tall, so they should give them like distinguishing features or something. But that's Mount Olympus, I believe, is the tallest mountain along the Wasatch as far as Salt Lake City goes. But we're looking south now. About 45 minutes south is Provo, and Provo Airport, where Breeze Airlines and Allegiant Airlines fly out of, which I am tempted to do a live broadcast from there. However, there's not a ton of activity. There's some, there's just not a ton. So I've been debating broadcasting from down there. And if I did broadcast from down there, it would be in the morning because that's when all the departures are. And then there's a huge gap until, I don't know, 3 o'clock when arrivals come in. So there's a pretty good dead period. So thanks for the like, by the way, and tuning in. Best way to know where we're going to be broadcasting next is to subscribe to the channel. And I usually put out a video the night before or the morning of. So thank you. A321 coming inbound from Portland. That's what we see in the distance. Say hello to the good people from Portland, arriving inbound to Salt Lake. Top of the hour, and we are going to stay on to see if we can catch that Delta Airbus A330 from Amsterdam on flight 57. Looks like they'll route us to runway 16 left, which is where we're facing the camera. We're looking north, so it'll come right into your living room, hopefully. Cross our fingers. Had good success on that side of things. Oh, they're switching it up. Uh-oh. Nope, we're not going to get the A330 because they just switched flow up. They're now doing north flow. Dang it. Well, darn. They decided to switch up flow. This is why I wish we'd have the live ATC feed from Salt Lake City. I got to buy another scanner. So now they'll probably send Delta 57 on a runway 34 left. So it'll be the west side of the airport. So, sorry, folks. I tried to hold out, but it was not to be. So, with that in mind, it is time to go and to say farewell. So, thank you again to everybody who tuned in. A fantastic broadcast today. Pretty awesome, honestly. I'm not going to lie. Had a lot of fun. No connection issues. I know the audio was a little spotty, but we'll work on that connection. But otherwise, I think it was a pretty freaking great day. Met a lot of new people, a lot of new subscribers. Again, if you're just tuning in and new to the channel, make sure to like this video and also subscribe, because when you subscribe, you know where we're going to be next. We'll tell you when and where. And also, I put out a video the night before. And I know it's kind of a broken record, but when we're a new channel and this is just my 11th broadcast, got to mention it. So, subscribing, we put out a video where we'll be next, or the day, the night before, or day of, where and when, so that you're aware. So, that's how we like to do it. So, you're informed. But in the meantime, if you do have a question, message me and I'll type it in the chat. You can message me on Instagram at 23R Productions. That's all it is. Whether it's dispatching or aviation related or plane related or anything like that, you can message me there. And also, if you have a question, you can also do. I also have an email address as well. So I'll put that on there as well, 30with30@gmail.com. But in the meantime, here's what will happen. I think our next broadcast, one of two things is going to happen. I may head to Colorado this afternoon to get some high altitude plane spotting, or I may hang around in Salt Lake for tomorrow. So if I do hang around Sunday tomorrow, I will try and put together a broadcast and put a video out tonight. So either one of the two things is going to happen with that. So I'll inform you either way what is happening. So thank you to everybody who tuned in, our new viewers, our new subscribers, our favorites. You know, Infidel, what up? Gary, also Michael, Sean, John. Who else? Eskier. Where is Beef Enchilada? Beef Enchilada and RW, I haven't talked for a while, so got to get them back on the truck. But thank you, Cindy and Eva from Germany. Thank you so much for tuning in across the pond. So for now, we'll talk to you soon, but enjoy the rest of your Saturday or Sunday, wherever you are in the world, and we'll bring you more aviation coverage live soon on Pip's Plane Spotting Live. So good day, everybody, and have a good one.